Alright, so now that you guys have simulated your program, everything looks good on the right side, you have the settings and graphics menu up, you have to get into the regular memory mode. Now Haas has a little bit of a weird thing with it, whereas if I just go back and click memory, it never brings me out of settings and graphics. So you kind of have to reset. So all I do is I just go handle jog, okay, or MDI, and then I go back to memory, and now it brings up my actual program ready to run. Now, if I hit cycle start right now, it's going to start actually moving the machine. But on the first time you run through a program, there's a couple of things that you have to do just to make sure that things are a little smaller, because we have some rapid movements in my program. Right here I have a rapid, so that's as fast as the machine can move. And we also have some very fast movements. And I want to override some of that my first time through just to make sure it's not going to crash, make sure my zeros are set up appropriately and all of that. So what I want to do before I ever press cycle start, so I want to come to my override menu right here. And you're going to see that I can do a couple different things. I have a spindle override, which is the speed of the RPM. I have the feed rate override, which is how fast the X and the Z axis are going to move. And then I have a rapid override right here. Okay, so right now what I always want to do my first time is I want to go right to 5% rapid. Just turn it down. Okay, and you're going to see up on the screen my rapids. Here's my spindle, 100%. My feed rate is 100%. Now I just changed my rapid from 100% to 5%. And that's what I want to see right now. Now my feed rate, you can sit here and go -10, -10, -10. Okay, and it's going to reduce it. Every time I hit -10, it goes 60, 50, 40, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Now if I'm ever down here and I just want to get back to 100%, you're going to notice that I have 100% for all of these, so I can just hit 100% and it brings it right back. That's full speed. Okay, but what I can also do is I can put my feed rate in control of my hand wheel. So what I like to do is I put hand control feed, and now you see the feed rate actually highlights in black, and then as I rotate my feed wheel, or my hand wheel, my feed rate changes, and I can very easily go to 0 very quickly. I can go to 100 very quickly. I can go, if I feel like the feed rate is just too slow, I can actually override over 100%. I can go to 999% if I want. Then I just come back to 100. Okay, but what I like to do on the beginning of a program is I like to turn her down maybe around 30%. Just gives me time to respond. So I've got my feed rate set at 30% and my rapid set at 5% before I ever start. Now, when you go to actually start a program, I want both fingers, I want both of these buttons covered. So one cycle start, one's feed hold. Especially the first time, you want to be really ready to stop this program immediately. So I'm going to be having both of my thumbs or both of my fingers on one of these buttons each. And then I'm going to make sure that I'm looking into the machine. And so I'm going to go ahead and cycle start, but my thumb is never going to leave feed hold because I want to make sure that nothing crazy happens. So I'm going to press cycle start and be watching inside the machine, watching for a couple of things. And I'm going to do this, you'll notice, without any part in there right now because I just want to make sure that I don't jam into anything and it looks like it's supposed to look kind of. Okay, so I go ahead and I close the door. I hit cycle start, keeping my fingers on feed hold. Okay, and what it should do is it should start to go back. Now this is actually a rapid movement, but since I have it slowed down, it's going back to home. Now it's come up, and now since I just hit the feed hold button, now since I have the coolant running for my actual program, but right now I want to see if I'm just close, the coolant is really an impedance for me. So I can manually override that just over here on the control. I just turn the coolant off, just for right now since I don't have a part. Now I hit the feed hold, all I have to do to get it going is hit cycle start again. And you can see it start to move in. Okay, it should go to where the front of my part is, and it did. That's a couple inches away, about 4.8 inches away from the face of the chuck if you have it set up correctly. And now you can see it's starting to come in on X. It's coming in on its first facing move. Okay, it comes in. Now it's moving back out nice and slow because I have my feed rate set down to 30% right now. So it's moving very slowly. You can hear the RPM changing because I have that G96 programmed in to automatically change it. As it comes in towards the middle, it speeds up. And now we can actually watch this too on the screen. Right now it's moving in X negative 0.06. It hits there. Okay, and then it's going to go back out once it hits that. It's moving back out to X 2.6. Now the next move, it's going to move in 50 thousandths of an inch. Right there, and then it moves back in to the center on X. Now, I would let this run through pretty much the entire way, but I've already run this program, so I'm going to bump my rapid and my feed rate back up to 100%. So all I'm going to do is hit 100% feed rate, and 100% rapid. And now you're going to see it starts to move a little bit faster where I'm actually wanting it. So it moves in, does my facing cuts. If I have my part in here, the coolant would be on. My facing cuts would be being taken right now. I'm coming up on my last facing cut. This is my finish cut for the face right here. Now you can see it starts to move in on the turning cut. Now my hand may be on the feed hold, and if I ever saw it get close to the chuck, I would stop and I would investigate. If it ever seems like it's about to do something that you don't think it should be, or it's too close to a chuck, it's too close to the part, whatever you think, if you think it's wrong in some way, shape, or form, stop the machine and just take a look. Now I could open this up and it would slow it way down and I could look at it. Oh, okay, it's actually still a whole inch away. Now I can go ahead, close the door back, cycle start, and it's going to continue on. Now I see that it doesn't actually get close to the chuck, which is good. I don't want it to. I want it to stay enough away. It's going to do my G70. Goes all the way to 2.25, 50 thousandths at a time. Goes to the G70 after that, finish pass, and then it goes to home and ends the program, and that's that. So after this, what I would do is I would go ahead and I would load my part in the actual machine, and I would do the same thing again, only this time it should be cutting, and we would have to see how it would come out. So that's that for actually running the program for real, and making sure you turn it down your first time, 5%. Override your feed rate with the hand wheel, you can turn it down to about 30. But now if I was going to run this same program again, same exact setup, I would just put a new part in, cycle start, it would wrap it right in position, coolant would turn on, and it would go. Now that I know it's a good program, I can do that. If you ever want to stop it fully, you just reset it, goes back to the beginning, and you guys can investigate, fix whatever needs to be fixed, and change, because you will have to modify and change and edit based on what's happening at the machine. And that's why we go over G-code so you know how to do that.